Okay, the next step in learning our story is to understand it. We have to study it. We have to know what's going on. What's going on before the story? What's going on after the story? Who's Jesus talking to? What's he trying to say? In this story, we have the woman who's looking for her lost coin. If we look at what's going on before this story, we find that Jesus has just told the parable of the Good Shepherd. And after this story, he tells the parable of the two lost sons. Who's he talking to? Well, we know there's a crowd around Jesus, but the Pharisees have been complaining about who Jesus is associating with. They don't like that he's eating with sinners. So Jesus tells these three parables to tell the Pharisees what's most important to God, that he wants each and every person, not just the good ones. So that shapes the way we look at this story. Now let's talk about specifically this parable of the lost coin. What's going on in this story? This woman has 10 silver coins and she's lost one. Now this is probably the money her husband has given her to pay for the food and oil and all the household expenses. And she's lost a coin. Now she's either had these in her clothing, she might have had them sewn into her clothing, or she had them in a pouch, but regardless, she's lost one and she's responsible for having lost it. Now, if she doesn't find this coin, she may not be able to buy enough oil for the lamp. She may not be able to put enough food on the table for her family. This is a big deal. Now we know that she has probably lost it in her house because she doesn't leave the house to find it. So she's lost it somewhere inside the house and she's looking. We also know it's probably daytime because her lamp is not already lit. The houses in that day would have had slits for windows, and even during the daytime, inside the house would have been quite dark. So she lights a lamp. Now oil costs money. So there's a cost to this search. But it's important enough for her to light the lamp to look for it. The floor in her house was probably made out of stones, and in between these stones would have been deep cracks. The coin's not going to jump out of the crack on its own. So she goes and gets a broom, and she sweeps between the stones and tries to flush out the coin so she can find where it's been dropped. And when she finds the coin, it's not enough that she sits at home and does her little happy dance by herself. She calls her friends and her neighbors together and she has a party. She is so excited. This coin means that much to her that she calls her friends and says, "Come celebrate with me. This is a big deal." And then Jesus goes on to say that that same feeling of joy is what is felt in heaven when one sinner repents. One lost person comes back and God throws a party, and he doesn't do it by himself. He brings in the angels and they have a party together. This one lost coin, this one lost sinner, it's a big deal.